Not haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, I know. And we're live. Welcome back to another episode of the iFilmmaker podcast. My name's Ariel Martinez, Mr. Cervitelli, back on the show with us.
Yes, finally.
You've been away for a while.
I have been away for a while.
So
I'm
have
so
I
sorry.
actually. We haven't posted in a while. We had to relearn a couple of things here, but how was your break? I know you took August off.
I did, man.
How was that?
It was perfect timing. I did it more so because I just wanted a break, but I wouldn't have had time to get my episodes in, even some of these in, just with other stuff going on, family, summer things, work stuff. So just that whole combination of everything, it ended up being perfect timing. So I enjoyed it. And now back to the grind.
Yeah, man. I've heard things like that where YouTubers, more specifically the vloggers that post every single day, content every single day, get so burned out that it becomes a medical issue for them because they gain a big following, but people that are watching, I don't think they realize how much time that takes.
Yeah.
I've experienced it on a, I guess, per week or bi-weekly basis, very minutely. I know you've done it for a whole year, but I cannot imagine those people that are doing that even more frequently than that. So
that's nuts, man. Especially if I could see it being a huge stress if you're not getting paid well for it. I mean
vloggers like Casey Neistat they've really like started that whole thing.
Yeah,
which is great if you could do it, but man, I think that even he needed a break. He did it for a year.
He did that thing for a year and really built his following, and now he's up to like 10 million subscribers. And he went back to when he started this 368 deal to doing every day. But even throughout this 368 stint that he's doing, this series or everyday vlogging for 368, it hasn't been every day. He'll take days off, he'll take a week off, and he won't even let you know, which, I mean, at this point for him, he can do that. But also it's just because he has either like same thing, family things going on, or he's just tired and like he's dealing with his business. So I think it's cool that he doesn't, he wants to do it every day and he gets it out there as much as he can, but he takes those days he needs. And
that's essentially what we do here as well.
Yeah,
because I never announced that we were going to stop posting. I try to keep people up to date, but as I mentioned all the time, the reality is that we're both full-time freelancers. So sometimes we just don't have that luxury. And I like to do things right. I like to do things right and make sure that, like, if I do something like that, it make things fully official. But if not, I'll just make a quick announcement on the Instagram or something like that. Any way that people could join us live. I'm sorry, any way that people can see, what's going on.
Yeah.
But anyways, in our absence, a few things have happened. So even though I wasn't posting all the time, and you were on a minor sabbatical, I was able to build us a brand new website, which is fantastic. I'm so excited about this. It took forever to transfer every single episode, one by one. And if you're following me on Instagram, I think I was posting about that on the stories, but man, it was just one by one, all the information that I have ever posted for each episode that we've done. I had to basically transfer it from Squarespace to WordPress, which I think it's a lot more responsive, especially for the things that we're doing, blogging, all that stuff, and posting on a frequent basis. I think that that's a more suited platform for the podcast and for other things that we're going to be introducing to the entire iFilmmaker, I guess, platform. So with that being said, we're gonna go more in detail on the website later on, and how actually those of you that are actual content creators, like Mr. Cervitelli, how you guys could actually get involved and how you can make your posts on the iFilmmaker website. We're actually going to be opening that up for people that are actual content creators to do that. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on in the episode. I think what we're going to do now, we're going to start off with everything that has been released I feel like so many things have been released and we have not discussed it. So we're going to use this episode to talk about those things that have been released, including Nikon, including Canon, including Atomos, including Sigma, and just so many things that have been released that have been pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. I think for the most part, for beginner, especially for beginner filmmakers, I think this is a very exciting time. Very exciting time because you have companies now competing. You got new companies now competing. These cameras are very similar. They're very alike, and it's very interesting to see what's going to happen now with all that stuff. So thank you for everyone that's joining us live. We are still live. We're still going on YouTube. We're still doing all that stuff. You guys can join us live. We have a live chat room going on now where people are currently on and already messaging us. And
we got speaking of things that we were forgetting, I didn't pull that up right away, so I am finally back on there so I can say hi to everyone on the YouTube live world.
Absolutely. What's up, guys? So let's go ahead and start. Let's see, where do we start? Should we start with, you know what? Let's do it in the order. I actually don't know the order that they were released. Let's just do the last thing we remember. So we're going to start with Canon, right?
Yep.
Canon has released a new SLR for their lineup. This is a mirrorless camera. It is a Canon EOS R. Let's go over the specs, the bullet point highlight points for this camera, and we can discuss it. So it is a full frame camera. It's very interesting because they decided to go with a different mount than all of their other E-mounts. So they released this camera with an adapter to use for their Canon glass because it's a different mount. I actually don't even know why they did that. I'm not sure. I'm sure they explained it somewhere. I just haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen it either, but it has to be, my assumption, this is completely assumption, has to be something with the connectors, right? And the way it communicates with the camera, because otherwise it's just a ploy to make money off everyone, right? And have to buy adapters and switch all your glass. Like, what could be the difference?
They also released a set of lenses to go with this too, like L series lenses that are specific to this mount. Not sure. So the highlight bullet points are 30.3 megapixels on the full frame, Digic 8 image processor. These are just highlight points straight out of B&H. It does have 4K video in 24 and 30 frames per second. Now, this is an 8-bit camera internal, 8-bit. It does have C-Log, and it has 10-bit HDMI out. And I believe that HDMI out jack is the small one. It's it's a small one. It's not the full size like the GH5 has. I mean, I assume the autofocus, so it has dual pixel autofocus. It has 5,655 autofocus points. I mean, to me, this okay. It does have a swivel out LCD screen, which is pretty cool.
That is nice.
That is nice. It is touchscreen. You can expand the ISO to fit from 50 to 102,400. 8 frames per second shooting.
That's probably stills, right?
Yeah, I know for sure. The stills. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It has SD, UHS. I mean, it looks like it's just one SD card slot. It's a very interesting camera, man, because it's just so different from what Canon usually puts out.
It's not full frame, right?
It is full frame.
It is full. I don't think it is all the way around. Hold on. Actually, we just got a comment here on YouTube. It says 4K with 1.8 times crop. Oh. Yeah, so 4K is not full frame. Yeah, so it's like they're trying to compete, but yet they don't. Yeah. I don't understand.
Wider mount equals more lighting. The sensors, according to a few YouTube videos seen discussing a topic. More
light hitting the sensors.
Thanks, Tyler, for that. Are you saying that the wider the mount, the more light it can bring in?
That's what it looks like it's saying, right? Wider mount equals more light hitting the sensors.
Huh.
Sensor.
I I guess, but I think that so the Sony, if that's the case, I don't know if that.
I mean, the bigger your sensor, the more light it's gonna take in general. Wider
Right. I
mount.
mean, the Canon mount already is is already bigger than Sony's mount, right? So the
Yeah,
the
it's bigger.
A7, so the A7S II has a smaller mount and definitely has more light hitting the sensor. I'm not sure. Maybe we're looking at that uh different way. Oh, he said according to Jared Poland. Gotcha. So I mean, perhaps that's the case. I think it's a very interesting camera. It honestly, personally, it doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
Just because I mean,
It would
I
have.
think
I mean, I guess I could always go to 1080 for full frame. It does interest me in the vlogging form, but like
okay,
one, I don't vlog that much, and
right.
it'd be a pretty expensive vlogging camera. But the swivel screen, and I don't know. I suppose I mean I would assume the
Are
new
there
mount
any?
has
Are
to do
there
something good.
right? I think that would be. I think that would be a very attractive camera for that reason, because currently the GH5 stands as like the #1 vlogging camera, right? More specifically because of the not only the swivel screen but the internal image stabilization. So people love that camera. I don't think this camera doesn't have internal image stabilization. Um, it does, however, have full frame. So that is, I think, very attractive for vloggers.
Yep.
Having uh that full frame image gives you a lot more depth,
What's
and
do you know size wise how much? I wonder how much this thing weighs. How big it is. Um,
hmm,
because like Canon cameras are usually fairly hefty especially compared to
right.
Sony's and even GH5.
It
Looks
says
pretty similar to the old
with
ones.
a battery and memory card, it weighs 1.45 pounds.
Doesn't sound heavy at all.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, maybe they brought that down, which is nicer. So then again, now back to vlogging situations, that would be nice
Right.
for that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a good vlogger camera. 30 megapixels. That's, it looks like a very nice stills camera too.
Yeah, it's a lot of megapixels.
Yeah, I think that this is good for stills, and I think this is better for stills. And if you want to do some video, it's good.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a good video camera,
Right.
personally. And I'm saying that comparable to all the other cameras that are out there. I wonder if they're going to come out with a more video direct approach to the same kind of camera. Maybe an EOS, different letter there.
Yeah.
Instead of the R, just like Sony.
Yep.
So speaking of other video camera that are similar, let's go to Nikon.
Yep.
So Nikon released a pair of full frame SLR cameras. We have the Z6 and the Z7, right? And I think
let's talk about a technicality real quick that I'm not even 100% sure on. When you say, so now are SLR cameras and mirrorless cameras I mean, essentially they're the same thing, right? They're these little bodies, but like, are they technically claimed the same? So like the ones with the shutters, with the mirrors, is that a digital SLR camera, DSLR camera? And then like Sony's, mirrorless cameras. I always get confused on what to say. It's like, is the A7S II a mirrorless camera only, or is it a DSLR as well?
Man, you know what? I
don't know the answer.
Great question. I know mirrorless and DSLR are two different things. Yep. I personally consider them the same thing.
Right.
But yeah, if you know the differences, it's really
it's just a technicality. Yeah. It's just someone calling you out on it, if anything.
All right, so here we go. SLR refers to a camera with a single lens and a reflex mirror to bend the light path to the optical viewfinder for framing. A DSLR, or a digital SLR, meaning it has a digital sensor to record images, and and it has advantages compared to their film counterparts. You know,
Right.
it's
So it is the mirror, I'm sorry, it is the reflector, like mirror type shutter as opposed to the
right. I mean,
mirrorless.
I
So what do you
person.
claim, right? Like, what do you claim these mirrorless ones? That's just mirrorless, or do you
I
just
mean,
say
these are all mirrorless, I believe, if I'm
these
not
new ones
mistaken.
are? Yeah.
Yeah, these new ones
Yeah.
are all mirrorless.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I could be wrong because I absolutely know nothing about Nikon.
Mhm.
From I heard that this is their first mirrorless camera.
Could
Is
be,
that the
yeah. I
case?
mean, isn't that also Canon's first mirrorless, like small? I don't want to say mirrorless first one because their cinema cameras are.
Yeah.
But as far as like handheld stills and video camera, I think that's Canon's first one as well.
Okay. I
I
mean,
think.
probably. I don't.
I mean, I think we would have known if Canon had another one. I don't know, like just like you said, I don't know much about Nikon, so I'm not sure if they had another one before that.
Right.
But it's interesting. I mean, I've always thought that. So like, because I'm reading these, they all say mirrorless, and you keep
Yeah.
referring
No,
to them
they
as
are all
SLRs.
they are all technically mirrorless. So
Yeah, I have the same problem all the time though. I'm like, yeah, I got a couple cinema cameras. I got a DSLR.
right.
I mean mirrorless. I don't know how to like say it sometimes, you know.
I say either SLR or.
And you mean the same thing.
I mean the same thing, guys.
Same way. I'm the same way. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that.
So the Nikon Z6 and Z7. Let's start with the Z6, right? Just looking at the first bullet point for this camera, I think this one is catered more for video. It's a 24.5 megapixel camera, and the Z7 is a 45.7 megapixel.
Ooh.
What I don't know what FX format is. Not sure.
FX format, yeah, that must be a Nikon thing.
So it does have 4K 24 and 30 frames per second. Where I'm talking about the Z7 right now. 4K 24 and 30 frames per second video and log. I assume it's Nikon's log, and 10-bit HDMI out. So same thing.
Says, and that's the same with the Canon as well. It's 10-bit out, right? I don't understand. I don't understand entering this game, especially when we've already had now the GH5 or it's doing 10-bit internally. I don't understand. Why would you go backwards with a new camera? I don't get it.
People would counter that with the fact that the GH5 is in micro four thirds.
Okay.
So it's a good counter argument, but it's all depending on what people need, you know.
Right, but does that make the difference on whether does the size of the sensor now? This is technical stuff. I have no idea. Maybe you know. Does the size of the sensor make a difference of how much harder it is to record 10-bit internal, like from a micro four thirds to a full?
I can't say that it does.
Yeah,
I really can't.
I feel like that's more internal workings. But
yeah, I'm no expert, but it doesn't. Yeah, it seems like it would be more internal stuff. Yeah.
So if that's the case, right? Like why pump out a new camera at $3,500 or whatever and not?
Yeah, this is $3,400. The Z7 mirrorless camera from Nikon is $3,400. By the way, we didn't say the price of the Canon. Sorry. So the Canon EOS R is $2,300. $2,300, right? The Nikon Z7 is $3,400. Body alone. By the way, the Panasonic GH5, hold on. Let me get the current price of the Panasonic, because when I bought it, it was $1,500. Come on, you just can't.
How are they doing that? And no one else can, even coming out with new cameras, they can't even figure it out.
There's no way.
It's like they're cheating somehow over there. I don't know what they're doing. Stealing parts or something.
1,500. Did I buy it right? Maybe I'm mistaken. So right now it's currently listed at 1,000, pretty much 1,700.
Maybe you got a deal.
Maybe no.
That's not a kit. That's not a kit setup.
No. I'm looking at it right now. The GH5S is 2,300. That wasn't the price before though. Did that go up?
Maybe they're selling too many. Can't keep up.
Dude, I could have sworn the GH5 was 1,500 and the GH5S was 2,000.
And these have instant savings on them too, or at least the GH5 does. Price 2,000 with an instant savings of 300, so 1,700.
Huh. That's very interesting. I had no idea.
Look up your receipt for next episode. Let's see if that's true.
I'll check that out. But I don't even remember where I bought it from. Did I? That's weird.
Did you buy it off of somebody? No, you bought it new, right?
No. I bought it brand spanking. Here's my receipt for it.
We got.
So I bought
trouble?
Here's the thing. The total, it doesn't have, for some reason, it doesn't have, let me see, order details. Here's my receipt. Oh.
The anticipation is killing me.
I was told. I guess I completely misunderstood or just don't remember at all. It was actually 2,000 when I bought it.
Wow. So yeah,
I bought it at the GH5 at $2,000. I guess the GH5S was $2,500.
Now they both have some savings on them.
Okay, oh man, I don't know why I was totally off on that.
Still at 2,000 compared to what these
at 2,000. Now you can buy it brand spanking new
17
at 1,700.
Yeah.
Right, which is still great deal compared to all these other ones. But anyways, let's go back to the Nikon Z7. Sorry, 493 point face detection autofocus system. I don't know how well that works. It's Nikon, never used it. It has a built-in 5-axis vibration reduction. So that's their form of IVIS, of internal image stabilization. I wonder how well that works.
This isn't even out yet, right? It's item coming soon.
It says coming soon. Expected availability is September 27th. So sometime in about a couple weeks.
I'm sure we'll be seeing a bunch of reviews coming up soon.
Yeah. 8K time-lapse mode. That's pretty cool. Which, by the way, I finally, when I was in the Bahamas this last, my recent trip, I finally used the internal intervalometer that the GH5 has. Wow.
Nice.
It is extraordinarily simple to use. Like, it's 2 settings. That's it.
All right, dude. All right, I'll buy one. All right, you got
it's fantastic. Like, there's no, I don't think that any external intervalometer that you attach to a camera is going to be simpler at all. Like, it's so simple and it's built right in. So it's really, really cool. I finally use it. So simple to set up. You can pause it at any time, do a little tweak and resume. It's terrific. And it gives you a sample foot. Like, once you're done, it'll keep all the raw images, and then it'll ask you, do you want us to create a low res video of what you just shot, just so you can review it right now?
Oh, that's cool.
And it'll do that. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, enough of the GH5. That was Z7. So those are the specs of the Nikon Z7, $3,400. I just can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I really can't. Don't get me wrong. It's great that it's full frame. Full frame is awesome. You get easier shallow depth of field, but everything else just it does not wash for me, because with a camera like the GH5, they got to do something better than this. Anyways, let's go back to the Nikon Z6. And this one comes out later.
I mean, the GH5 is literally half price from that now.
Yeah. It's just you just can't. I'm sorry.
And I have no idea the Nikon color gammas and
I hear it's really good.
Yeah,
I actually hear great things about it, and I've seen great things with it. I hear that the Nikon color is very, very nice. So I'll give it that for sure.
Okay.
The Nikon Z6, it's $2,000. Okay. By the way, all these prices, we're just rounding off a couple bucks. So just, whatever. Doesn't matter. 24.5 megapixels, FX format. Still don't know what that is. 4K 24 and 30 frames per second video, same thing. N-Log and 10-bit HDMI out. 273 point face detection autofocus system. It is a drop from the 493 from the Z7 mirrorless. Huh.
Well, like you said, that the Z7 is probably more of a stills camera, anyways.
Yeah,
So
but the only difference is the megapixels. Well, let's see the ISO. So the ISO on the Z6, the $2,000 Z6 is 10 between 100 and 51,000, and then the ISO for the Z7, which theoretically should be less, yeah, it goes up to 25,000. It goes from 64 to 25,000. So the Z6 is better low light performance.
Yeah, smaller sensor.
It has a XQD card slot.
What? So, what does the Nikon?
Yeah.
XQD as in what you shoot like on FS7s?
Yeah.
Wow.
What the heck?
That's a big card for that kind of camera.
The Z7 has the same thing. XQD card slot.
Wow, I've never seen another camera use that card. Interesting.
A small camera like this, for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like physically a big card to put in there.
But like, why?
And it's not even 10-bit. I don't understand. Interesting decision.
That's another way of saying you guys are idiots. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to question their reasoning. With like,
I'm sure there is.
You know what? Let's do this. There's a little section here which I appreciate B&H adding. There's a lot of Q&As here.
Yeah, there's.
How do you use other Nikon lenses? What country is Nikon built? It says it's been mentioned that it will do a clean 4K 30 frames per second 10-bit-42 out, but will it also output 120 frames in 1080p? Even Sony's newest won't output 120. Fully weather sealed. Let's see. What's the answer? It has the same weather sealing specs as the D850, which I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Okay, look, this guy. Why the ridiculously priced memory cards? That alone turns me off. There is no answer for that.
You know what's funny is, man, I should look this up as a receipt because this was frustrating for me. I bought the FS7 pretty early on, and I remember buying a 64 gigabyte card. And I swear, I want to look this up, but I swear it was like $250 for 64 gigabytes.
I believe it.
But
so that
very quickly went down. Very quickly went down. So I was pretty upset that I bought it because now, I don't know, they're still. Yeah, well, it's so now 230 for a 128, right? Yeah. So less than the 64, and I'm pretty sure that happened quickly, but they are still so expensive. And I haven't bought one in a while.
Just so that everyone listening has an idea, XQD cards are very expensive.
Yeah.
Here is a Sony brand, which is going to be even more expensive. For Sony brands, XQD card, this is 440 megabit per second reading, and 400 megabits writing. A 64 gigabyte is $140, right? Now let's go to Delkin XQD, Delkin devices. A 64 gigabyte is $140.
Yep.
And those are the only two brands that I see here.
Yeah, I've never bought anything but Sony just because it's one of those kind of like proprietary style. I didn't want to use anything else but that in the camera. So, I'm
Delkin devices is not bad. It's not bad. I have a couple of SD cards from them. They work very well.
Their price is no different though.
Yeah, they have the same price. For a 120 gigabyte Delkin devices XQD card is $230.
I mean, they're no red mags, but they're not cheap.
No, of course not. 256 gigabyte XQD card from Sony, $464, $463.50, whatever.
Yep.
But dude, what the hell?
Yeah, so they want to come into this game and drop those kind of cards on you, which no one will have in general.
Right.
And you'd have to go buy on top of a $3,400 price tag.
Why? And you know what's funny? Like, you would think if that was the case, like Nikon would come out with their own proprietary cards.
Right.
Like, Why? You lose a lot of space that you can, because these are huge cards. You could save that space to add more tech in there.
Yeah.
Perhaps 10-bit video.
Yeah. Or two SD slots.
Or two SD card slots. I don't know, man. I wonder how big the footage files are.
But can you find that on here? Does it say that stuff?
File formats here for movies are MOV, MP4, MPEG-4, AVCH, H.264. Memory card type XQD. My gosh,
that's an interesting tidbit there. And I would assume the 6 and 7 both are doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, Z6 and Z7.
Yeah,
they both have XQD cards. That alone, I think, is going to turn most people off. Personally,
100%.
I think that is like on top of spending.
It doesn't. I mean, not that most do, but it doesn't come with one either. So it's not like you're getting one in the package to get going.
Yeah,
it's 100% another add-on.
You know what? And I keep bringing up the GH5 because my gosh, that is personally that is the best camera right now for the price. Oh my god. The GH5 even gives you cinema 4K. Like instead of the 16:9, it's a 17:9 aspect ratio. The longer actual cinema,
true 4K.
True 4K. Internal 10-bit 4K.
Man,
it gives you that. Dude, how can you argue?
I'm not arguing.
There is no argument. Anyways, this basically turned into an episode for the GH5.
Oh, I mean, when you're killing it like that, you deserve it.
I just can't justify the only thing these cameras have going, over the GH5, any of these cameras, is the full frame. And if you're willing to overlook that, I mean, bro, you're getting a great camera.
Yeah.
So, anyways, enough of the bashing on all these cameras here. It's just it's easy to not do. You know what? I forgot about a release that came out, the Mavic 2.
Oh, the
Mavic 2 Zoom.
Yes, I actually just
let's talk about these little delicious monsters.
Just yesterday stopped in the DJI store in Wynwood when I was down there.
I'm sorry, Mavic 2 Pro. Go ahead. Sorry.
I stopped at the DJI store in Wynwood. You know there's one there, right?
Yeah, that's where I got my Mavic.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been in a DJI store before. It's
really nice.
It's really nice. Yeah, they got everything set up there. They're super nice people there. Yeah. And I got to see these for the first time.
They're the people that run Drone Nerds on.
Oh, are they? I didn't know that.
Instagram. Yeah,
I saw that.
That's
those guys there, not like DJI themselves, but the guys that work there. You're saying?
Right. They're the ones that run Drone Nerds.
I saw a sign that had something to do with Drone Nerds. I didn't know. I didn't realize why. Okay,
that is them.
Very cool. Yeah, they're super nice. But I got to see them. I was excited to see.
So, did you see the Mavic 2 Pro there?
I did. Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it looks amazing. It's just
man, just looking at it, it's only priced at 1,500 here. Oh, 1,450. 1,450. So the specs on this is it has a Hasselblad lens, which is I'm sorry, Hasselblad. I don't know what kind of part Hasselblad had on that, but just the fact that it has their logo is just gorgeous. Okay. Have you seen those Hasselblad medium format cameras?
I have not.
Oh man, those things are like, if you thought full frame was big, those medium format Hasselblad cameras they're like, I believe they're priced like red.
Yeah.
They're just gorgeous. So seeing that logo on the lens, I'm like, oh wow, that's very attractive. So it has a 20 megapixel camera, 4K, whatever 4K camera, things that you would expect. It has a 10-bit D-Log M. Okay. And 10-bit HDR video. My gosh. I don't know what OcuSync 2.0 transmission technology is. I assume that has to do with the refresh rate, or I'm sorry, how fast you get the video that you're shooting.
Syncs to your phone.
Yeah, something like that. 31 minutes of flight time.
How many?
31 minutes.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Wasn't that the case for the other Mavic Pro?
I don't know. I don't feel like anything really truly gets any more than like 20 minutes comfortably.
It says here, yeah, it says the regular. Oh no, that's the zoom. It says 27. 27.
I mean, yeah. So when you say 27, it's coming down. You're probably bringing it down with like 20% left, which cuts off.
Yeah, no,
You
for
know,
sure.
so it's like 20. So to hear 31 to start, maybe you get 25 solid minutes
Yeah,
out of
it says up to 31 minutes. So that's
Yeah.
like, I would say maybe,
25 max.
25. Yeah. Omnidirectional obstacle sensing. Okay. I wonder how omnidirectional that is. Hyperlapse time lapse mode.
Nice.
that was doozy. I think somebody posted on that hyperlapse mode. I think it was our friend from Endure Films, Peter Fowler. So Peter Fowler from Endure Films actually posted in hyperlapse with this camera, and it looks really nice.
I did a hyperlapse drone episode, but they don't have like a hyperlapse mode. There's like ways to
gotcha.
kind of do it yourself. You pick like a certain mode and just let it take pictures every however many seconds. That's cool that they have an actual hyperlapse mode, because it's not the easiest to like make work, but it does work. So that's really cool. It's exciting. I love hyperlapse.
No, those things are fantastic. So cool. And if this works really well, that's very, very enticing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says remote controller included. Okay. That's $1,450 for the drone alone, right? For the Mavic 2 Pro. I wonder why they didn't call it Mavic Pro 2. I don't know. Anyways, so the Fly More kit,
because it's probably the Mavic Pro. It's probably the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 2 Pro, right? So it's the Mavic 2 with different versions. Is that right?
That's true. Yeah, yeah. It definitely has to be because of the zoom.
Yeah,
that's good. So speaking of the zoom, we have the Mavic 2 Zoom at $1,250, so $200 less. 12 megapixel camera, so it's not as good, but you do have zoom capabilities. 48 megapixel super resolution photos.
Feel about that?
Huh?
You feel about that? You feel that that's necessary?
I'm not crazy about it.
I just don't feel like it's necessary when you're that high up. What is it really going to do? You're shooting in 4K plus anyways. You can probably reframe.
Right. You can go from 24 to 48 megapixels. But I guess your depth changes. Your depth, your sense, because you're changing the
I guess so.
Your perspective.
But again, when you're that high up, like, I mean, so you're just getting a wide generally.
DJI recently posted a video of them kind of making use of the zoom capabilities. It's interesting. It's interesting. It depends on what you're shooting, but yeah, you're right. Personally, I'm just going to stay wide the entire time for everything that I would get. But I've seen examples like, for example, a rock climber is climbing, and then it's a very thin rock, and you can see depth in the background. So if you zoom in, that gets even more blurry, like things like that.
Yeah.
But
so it's more than it would be more so for not just getting that wide, big shot. It's actually like cinematic shots, but you just can't get a camera there. So you use this drone, right, to like get into position, and then you could reposition, use different focal lengths. That's cool. That's cool. I can do that. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a very nice drone, man. I've always said with my Mavic Air, I think if I was to get another drone, it would definitely have to be like for a Mavic Pro Plus. I'm not gonna have a Mavic Air and a Mavic 2 Pro there, because they're pretty much for the same purpose, So I would have to get rid of the Mavic Air and get this, which sounding like quite a possibility.
I've kind of gotten to the point. I mean, I have the Mavic Air as well, and I've just gotten to the point where I don't use it enough to even for work. Like, I barely use it to get shots for work stuff. It's more like for fun for me almost, and randomly throw it up for a job. I'm very rarely asked to use it or to get it, that kind of shot. So, man, I think I'm done upgrading. I upgraded, quote unquote, from my original. I had Nautel Robotics, which is very similar to like the Inspire, the regular sized drones. I just wanted to downsize so I can travel with it, because I couldn't travel with the other one. So I think that's definitely good, and I'll hire out for anything that's higher end drone work.
Yeah.
But they are coming out with really cool stuff. That doesn't. I'm not trying to get away from that.
For sure. So there is that release from DJI. Actually, thank you, Daka, for bringing this up. We forgot a camera.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Fujifilm X-T3 mirrorless digital camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's an APS-C size sensor. It actually, Caleb Pike did a review on this camera over at DSLR Video Shooter. You can go and check out the quality of this camera, which is quite nice. So the highlight points for this camera has I don't know what an X processor 4 with quad CPU means. That's getting too technical.
That sounds fast.
Okay, yeah, it does. Quad CPU, yeah. So it has 4K 60 video, 4K 60 frames per second video.
It says Daka said 10-bit. Is that true?
No,
4K 10-bit 60 all internal?
No.
Man,
no.
No,
I know. Here, what I'm reading is F-log gamma and 10-bit out.
Okay.
It says that on the highlight point here. Daka. Hey.
Scared me. I mean, he didn't say internal in his comment here, but it got me. He said 4K 10-bit 60 frames per second. That's all that was said. So Daka wasn't wrong, but definitely got me thinking that might have been internal.
Right. It has 2.16 M. What's M?
2.16 what?
It says point face detection autofocus. I don't know what.
I see that.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't really know autofocus that well. One, I don't do stills. Two, I barely use it. When I'm shooting stuff, unless it's like vlog style. So I don't really pay attention to it. To be honest, it's not one of my selling points. For
me either. It has a tilting LCD screen. I assume tilting means it does not swivel out. It's only tilting. It looks like it, yeah. It's so from what I saw, from what Caleb had shot, it's very nice image, very nice colors. If you like film, if you like, that film look for, let's say you're doing a short film, this is a great camera for that. It's really nice. It also has Fujifilm. They actually created, from what I understand, and I think if you want more information on this camera, you should check out that video that Caleb Pike did. They actually implemented their own film grain built into the camera, and it looks really, really nice.
I mean, I'm intrigued just that Fujifilm has this out. I had seen this before, and I kind of forgot about
Fujifilm. They're known for film cameras.
Very intriguing. And what's cool too is if you look, you can buy there's two different colors and versions. They're actually the same price, but if you go over to the silver one, it looks like one of their old style.
Right.
Which looks really cool. That looks really cool.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, just up from an aesthetic perspective, that looks sweet.
But it's a digital camera.
Yeah.
It's a mirrorless camera, so that's actually very, very cool. So if you like film, if you like videos with film grain and that really nice film, organic film look, Fujifilm created their own film. I don't know if it's an overlay or profile
or something. Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
And you think you just turn it on?
Yeah, and you just turn it on and you have film in your. Again, check out Caleb Pike's video. He does a very good explanation on all that stuff.
$1,500, guys, for those.
Oh yeah, $1,500. That's not bad. Yeah. That's not bad for this,
Pre-order. It's not even out yet either. Man, I'd like to get my hands on that.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really nice camera. Good job. See, what I take away from this is that I don't think that they're trying to compete.
Yep.
With Sony and Canon and Nikon. I think that they're trying to do their own thing, trying to keep their own way of video and photos.
Yeah.
Well,
look, they did almost
mirrorless market.
They did almost everything except 10-bit internal, which is fine for their price point, and they're putting in their own feel of the green and stuff. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Best one of the three I've seen.
Yeah, because I look at this camera and I'm not automatically thinking, how does this compare to my GH5?
Right, it's different.
Exactly, it's a completely different camera. So,
very cool.
Yeah, very nice. Well done, Fujifilm.
Greg McKay said, "Hey guys, love the podcast. I thought of switching from my Sony A7 III to the GH5 for a while now. but I find that a full frame is hard for me to let go of. I also shoot a lot of stills too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all in that boat, man. Or at least I am still. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to
Dude,
get that.
so this weekend I was shooting over at the
Hang out with Ariel. He'll convince you that the
Oh my God.
GH5 is
I'm a huge advocate for GH5. So this weekend I was shooting over at the Granite Games in Minnesota. I keep forgetting everywhere I go. And I got my hands on the A7S II. One of my buddies was using it. And I was looking at it and I'm like, man, I'm not missing much at all. Like, I really am not. I used to use the A7S II a lot, and I haven't used it in a long time. And I started using it, and the only thing I'm thinking about is like, this color is gonna suck. So I do appreciate my GH5. The full frame is nice, but when I really don't notice it. I really don't, because first of all, I'm using a Metabone speed booster, so it kind of already widens out that image very well, close to a APS-C. Not close to it. It's like an APS-C camera, or maybe even a little more, closer to the Super 35, I would say. But man, the gosh, you just got to use it yourself. You really, I would suggest anybody rent it, use it, play with it. And you'll see. I got one of my buddies that, because I had to borrow his FS5, I was doing interviews all weekend. I needed 2 FS5, so I got his, and I just left him with my GH5. He's going to buy one. Actually, it's Mr. McCoy. I was working with him this weekend.
Oh, nice.
And by the way, he says he'll be back. Oh yeah, we'll see. He's actually going to get a GH5 now, because he's been shooting on his A6500 for so long. He loves it, and he's shooting on his FS5 for so long. He loves it. But when he started using a GH5, he's like, dude, I gotta get this camera.
Let me ask you this though: when you shoot, do you ever shoot and combine? Like, do you need a second camera when you go like FS5 and GH5?
I try not to.
I was gonna say, how do you do that?
No. And that has been my biggest battle, because I think that, I mean, this is why. So I'm currently considering and I know a lot of people are going to say things about this, but I'm currently considering the
EVO 1?
No. Yeah. So that I would love to get it for my all the time work that I have now, but I'm trying to actually tap into a market now of more documentary work. I've been getting a lot of inquiries for reality shows and things like that, or documentary TV shows, right? Netflix, etc. And they're requesting the C300 Mark II a lot. That is basically an industry standard when it comes to documentary filmmaking for TV. And sometimes I lose jobs because I don't have it, you know? And for me, it's not justifiable to rent it and then, they pay for it and whatnot. But so that's why I've been considering that. But I'm not going to get an EVO 1 and have the C300 Mark II, It just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I'll see what I'll do. But yeah, ideally I would go EVO 1, GH5, B cam, and that would be that. I would do it that way. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Actually, I just did a documentary for BBC, not the whole thing, but I did several interviews for BBC, and I had to use my FS5 externally to the Atomos, but not raw. It was just a regular HDMI. I wasn't getting a raw signal from the FS5, I was just getting a 10-bit signal. And the GH5 was B cam. So I told them that. I mean, they can try to match it. I'm not sure. I've never tried that. Yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully they can. But yeah, I mean, the colors are really nice already. So anyways, moving. So that's the Fujifilm, the Fujifilm X3. I hope that was able to help Greg, what we said. I mean, what I said about the GH5, the A7S3, the A7S2. It's nice, man. The full frame is literally at this point the only thing that can't. Oh, and the low light. I'm sorry, the low light. But then you have.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the low light, the way that works in low light, I'd switch over real quick. Because I mean, unfortunately, I don't love this kind of work, but like in doc work or like running gun stuff, sometimes, man, you just need that, because these the FS7, the FS5 aren't going to hold up. Like they're going to be so grainy. So I need that to complement them, which is a bummer. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to. It's so hard to have. It really. These really are like multiple tools. Like these cameras can do so many different things, and some of them are very specific. But
yeah, there is no perfect camera.
Yeah.
So, except the GH5. So moving forward, well, the GH5S is a good low light camera as well,
but no stabilization.
No stabilization. So why can't there just be just one camera? Yeah. All right. Anyways, moving on. I think there's one more thing. Oh yes, the Atomos Ninja V, dude. You've heard of this, right? I mean, you saw it at NAB.
Yep.
We were there. We saw it. We were both excited. It's getting closer and closer. I think it's releasing October 8. October 8, we're getting the Atomos Ninja V. I'm very excited about this. Again, Caleb Pike did a video on this review. He had it on loan for a couple days, so he did a video. Check that out. It's really. I'm gonna put all these links to Caleb's video over on the. By the way, the new URL for iFilmmaker podcast is iFilmmaker.tv. So that's pretty cool. Even though iFilmmaker podcast will still take you to the same place. So I'm going to put a link to the show notes of this episode. Go and check that out, all these videos and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, so what the Atomos Ninja V is a 5-inch 4K HDMI monitor, recording monitor.
My gripe with 5-inch monitors, I want a 5-inch, like good 5-inch so bad, but so few of them have SDI. I can't stand that.
So the cool thing about this is that, so Atomos, see, they thought this through. They actually made a component, this to be upgradable.
Nice.
So they have a part there where the battery goes. You're going to be able to attach something that's going to come out a little later. It's kind of modular, so maybe you'll be able to attach an SDI connection onto that, and that's one of the examples that they actually gave us themselves. For that specific part. So that's actually really cool. If I could use this instead of the huge Inferno, which I love so much, because I do like a 7-inch monitor, but to carry around, running around, it's very, it becomes very tiresome.
It's 1,000 nits too, isn't it?
It's 1,000 nits, so it's nice and bright outdoors.
That's really nice.
So for all of these mirrorless cameras coming out, being able to export shoot externally 4K, 10-bit, 60 frames per second. This is a monitor for that. It used to be like the Ninja Inferno or all that, those other 7-inch Atomos recorders, but this is a 5-inch one, specifically for cameras like all the ones we just announced.
It's a recorder too. That's crazy. This price is pretty good.
Dude, for that alone, I mean, why would I personally think that maybe Small HD has like better color renditions, more accurate color renditions, and that's definitely why filmmakers continue to gravitate for Small HD for monitoring only. But for the place where we are, where we kind of need more efficient tools, things like that, I think that this is a much better option.
Yeah.
I love how they have it showcased here with Nikon for one of the images, but they have it like here showcased with the FS5, Nikon 8 D650. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And they have the GH5S and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting camera for sure. I'm sorry, recorder monitor. I'm very excited about that. So we're almost out of time here. Let's go ahead and get into our new website.
Yes.
Man, I'm so excited about this. So for those of you that have been, I guess, following the podcast for a while, you've been seeing, our pretty bland website. We have a brand new website now that you can go over. Check that out. It's iFilmmaker.tv. We're going to have much more content than the podcast. So we're obviously going to have the podcast on there. We're going to have a tab that says show and tell. Essentially, we're going to be grabbing products like my first show and tell video, which is on the Core SWX Power Base Edge, which is really cool. a very under the radar product, I think, that you guys can check out. Things like that. I just give you some bits and pieces of information, and I'll be posting it really quick. Some highlight points, how you can possibly use it, and etc. So there's a show and tell section for that. There is the Q&A videos that we've done where you guys ask us questions and we do a quick Q&A video segment for you guys, and just answer your questions very quick. And we just go through a bunch of, answered questions. There's a section for that. We want to be bringing back the blogs. So blogging is something that we're going to start working on to put more blog content on this website for you, so you guys can go ahead and continue to see information on things like that, how I really feel, or how we really feel about other products, and obviously the contact page. Now, there's still minor tweaks that need to be done to this website, but I think overall it's pretty much good to go. Hope you guys can go and check it out. Now brings me to the contributor aspect of this new website. So I'm going to be having I want to call on like a bunch of all content creators. If you're out there making content, kind of like the Jersey Filmmaker YouTube channel, like Mr. Cervatelli creates, we definitely want your stuff on this website. And the way that would work is you send us over an email, contact us, an email on iFilmmakerpodcast@gmail.com. Send us your name, the link of where you post your current stuff, and to see if you would be a great fit for the iFilmmaker team. And we want to put your stuff on this website. And the way that'll work is we'll give you your very own personal login. Anytime you make a video and post it on your page, on your YouTube page, etc., you can come over to the iFilmmaker and post it here. There's literally thousands of visitors a month on this website, so it just gives you more exposure. It gives the website more content, and little by little, we'll be building this small community here of filmmakers that are basically what the logo says, learning filmmaking together. Like, that's all we're literally doing. Mr. Cervatelli and I are just a couple of freelance filmmakers that are still literally learning as we go. We learn from each other. We learn from you guys, especially those people here in the chat for the episodes. I think it's a very exciting new step for the iFilmmaker podcast. Now it's really more of a platform. Mr. Cervatelli is already a contributor on the site, so he's going to be getting his stuff over here. So if you want to see his stuff as well, you can go over to this website where it'll have links to his website, to his YouTube channel, to all that stuff, along with other content creators as well. So it's a lot of fun. Very excited about that. Hope you guys are excited about that. And just remember, you guys more than happy to see your stuff, to see if you would be a great fit for this community, to be an actual official contributor to this website. So we're getting some positive feedback on the chat, so that's cool, man. I think that's it.
That's I'll let you run with that. I didn't want to interrupt.
No, yeah.
On the chat over here, but yeah, man, I'm excited about it. It's really cool, guys. You should definitely check it out and go over there and see if anything you do for your work that you create, any content that you're making, see if we can get it up on there. It'd be nice. It's just another place for us for all of us collaborators and content creators to put our stuff all in one place for people to come see.
Nice. So yeah, I got one question here. Last question. Max Oswald, it says, "Hey Ariel, I have a problem with my GH5M battery grip. Do you have issues too?" I actually don't. My battery grip works fairly well. And actually mine is not from Panasonic. My battery grip is from I forgot the brand of my grip, but it's actually a generic one. It's a third-party grip. Panasonic one is kind of expensive. But anyways, that was the last question. I think we're done for the show for this episode. It was a great episode, back from a long time. And all right, guys, until next time, hopefully we're going to try to continue to post once a week, but we do have jobs coming up that we're going to get pretty busy on. And so until next time, thank you guys Thank you to everyone that joined us live and asking your questions and getting involved here. You guys are awesome. Mr. Ceratelli, I'll see you on the next one, bud.
Later.
Later.